I've come up with a way to totally eradicate this whole idea of rejection in sales. If it's over at hello, how the heck are you going to succeed in selling? You've got to rise above that and change your mindset.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Stump the Guru show. It's Ari Galper with Trust-Based Selling. Hope you're doing well. We have a large audience around the world who listens to this through our podcast channels, where we have this recording there available on YouTube and Spotify. We are all about 100% trust building that replaces selling in the sales process. Been doing this for 2 decades. We have a large body of work around this, a large following, and this is our show where people jump on live and ask me a question, but that's challenging for them, or where they're stuck in their sales process, or they have an opportunity they cannot convert. Anything where you feel like you're stuck in your process, you can come here, ask a question, and I'll provide you a unique perspective from a trust perspective. So I wanted to mention a couple things. First of all, we just launched our Trust Academy, our 6-month deep dive program where you can become a master practitioner in trust-based selling. It starts in a couple of weeks. The URL or the website is right in front of you, arigalper.com/academy. I'd recommend highly, if you know my work, to read that page carefully, word for word. If it resonates with you, then submit an application, expression of interest, and then we can have a conversation. And if we match up, then we'll allow you inside the program. It's a small group, just 25 students only, with our head coach and business partner, Sam, who I've mentored for many, many years. This is the first time we're doing a real deep dive for people to understand what we do, but find themselves slipping out of the mindset, really need to make this a new muscle in their body, so to speak, in their mind, and don't want to dabble in it anymore, but they want to really get to a level of master practitioner, not just for yourself, but once you get this program, you'll be able to also teach other people in your environment, your colleagues, your salespeople, your clients, teaching them the same thing you're learning, and by you walking the talk. So we're super excited about this because it's not a short-term fix. It's a permanent installation of a different mental mindset with a whole set of languaging and processes that you cannot get through a quick video or a quick post or however else learning these days. So I highly recommend that you go to arigalper.com/academy. If you know my work, this is a once-in-a-lifetime only opportunity. We've made the enrollment fee very reasonable for people who are serious about this and committed to want to really master this, so they can stop chasing leads, they can stop doing free consulting, stop educating people, and get off the addiction of needing more leads. So hopefully that's inspired some of you to take a look at it. I think you'll enjoy the program because it's one of a kind. So look, this show is all about helping our listeners and our viewers and our clients and our members to really understand the depths of what's possible inside a sales conversation by removing the like and the no process, which is the relationship part of this, and focusing more of like a doctor-patient relationship with a prospect who's knowing you for the first time. And the theme for today, and you'll see that in our post that led up to today, is this whole idea of the concept of a fit. And a lot of us grew up in an age where we were taught by our mentors and sales coaches that our whole mentality, our whole job was to meet with someone for the first time in our sales process. And in our mind, our concept is, let's see if we're a fit, to find a match between what they're looking for and what we have to offer. And we not only have that so ingrained in our processes in the back of our construct that we even tell our prospects, nice to meet you. Look, we're going to see if we're a fit today. And if we're a fit, great. If we're not a fit, we won't work together. It's a classic sort of sales line. It's been used over and over and over again. And let me tell you, that no longer applies in this day and age, in this economy. And I'll tell you why. Because, the whole fit concept worked great when you had a unique product that others didn't have or very few had. Then it made sense for you and them to say, yes, we're a fit. But now we're in a commoditized economy, what I call the trust recession, where you're being shopped. It's no longer, are we a fit? Now they're shopping you. And what that does is when you use the whole fit model on top of your conversations, what you're doing unknowingly is creating a peer-to-peer relationship with them where you're an equal. You're not an authority like a doctor, right? A doctor doesn't say to you, let's see if we're a fit, right? Because once they do that, first of all, it'd be kind of awkward, but if they did that, what it does, it relegates the relationship back to almost like a friendship, like let's get together, become friends. That is not the kind of structure you want to have pre-sale where someone doesn't trust you. You want to have the positioning and the process and the mindset to basically be the doctor and not see if they're a fit, but for you to diagnose their problem, for you to determine if their problem is serious enough, it's costing them enough, and they're committed to solving it or not. It has nothing to do with if you're a fit or not, because the meeting isn't about you two together at all. Your first meeting is only about your ability to unpack, go down the iceberg, and really get to the bottom of their issues. So they say to you this phrase, how can you help me? That's not a fit moment. That's the patient saying to the doctor, how can you help me? And so I want to begin to give you permission to let go of this concept that you believe your job is to see if you're a fit with these prospects, because the structure has changed. They're shopping you. They're not saying to themselves, are we a fit? We're saying it. It's not. It's a mismatch. So anybody that's taught you this concept it just does not fit with where the world is today, because the market is ruthless and your prospects view you as one of many, and they aren't looking for a friend. They aren't looking for a peer relationship. I promise you. Now, of course, once they're a client, then you build a relationship with them, but not before they're a client. That just breaks all the trust process. Why? Because when you start your process with a mindset of, I'm going to build a relationship with this person, what you're automatically doing is extending your entire sales cycle to multiple steps, a long sales cycle, and trust does not arrive until the end of the process once the relationship is built. So think about it for a second. You got someone on a Zoom meeting or a physical meeting who came through referral or lead through LinkedIn or however you get your leads. And now what you're doing is starting the process, building a relationship with them. You're automatically extending the time that it takes for them to trust you. Why would you do that? That makes no sense, because they're already off to shop for somebody else once you gave them an education and information. So back to the theme today. Your goal is not to see if you're a fit with your prospects. Your goal is to see if their problem is serious enough and grave enough, and the impact of it is large enough for them to commit to their own problem. Then you can walk them through the treatment plan for how to solve that problem. So I wanted you to think about that today and ask yourself if you're still going into your conversations trying to see if you're a fit and trying to bond with them and trying to build a relationship with them, which is actually killing your trust process, which I know sounds contrarian, but this is why we're launching our Trust Academy, because in the Trust Academy process, we'll be addressing all those myths, all those constructs you're probably still holding on to from all the years of the inputs you've gotten. And it requires a shift in your thinking and languaging and process to catch up with where the economy is going. If you're hiring new people or new salespeople, they definitely need to get this on board now rather than getting old habits, and it's too late by then. So we'll open up the show. And we'll see who's in there in the background today who wants to jump in and ask me a question. I know Sam's here, my business partner as well, and we have a lot to riff on all the time. So, because he's in the front line just like me every single day. So, Steve, how are we doing back there?
All righty. So nobody else is wearing blue and orange but me for our New York Knicks. I'm ashamed to know the two of you, you and Sam. Darn you both. I'm going to bring Derek on, who I do talk about basketball with from time to time. Hey, Derek, how are you today, buddy?
Good, Steve, and congrats to the Knicks. So, long time coming. Hey, Ari.
Hey there.
So I got a question. This one's a bit of an unusual one. So I've been dealing with this this particular opportunity probably for the last few months. You know, the funds are there, cost of inaction is there. The challenge is that this individual is managing a team of 3 different sites, and she's refusing to take responsibility on action to do something. She's putting the onus on all the members of her team. It has gotten to the point where the members of her team have said, I don't care who we choose, let's just choose a solution because we have problems and we need to fix them. So she basically said to her team, well, you guys got to decide. I can't decide for you. So I'm trying to and Ari, it's gotten to the point where members of my internal team have been saying, why are you still dealing with this person? And the thing is, if I lose this opportunity, it's going to put other sites at risk within my account, because then they'll find out, oh, we went with somebody else and that. But I'm trying to figure out a way, languaging or something that I can use to pull out the elephant in the room, and that this is getting out of control right now. Because
are you saying that she's afraid to take a leadership role and lead to help them make a decision, and she's delegating the whole thing to them?
That's right.
I see this all the time, Derek, and more all the time. I had a call myself just a couple days ago with a CEO and a couple of salespeople and his head of sales. And we went through the same process you were going through. We unpacked their problems, and they are losing so much money every month on conversion because their sales team's chasing leads, doing everything wrong. And they were all talking, admitting, like, you're right. I hate doing this, and we're losing. I swear, this was happening live. I'm saying to myself, wow, they're kind of getting it. And at the end, the CEO, who's a decision maker, says to, like, it's his money too, like, says to everyone else in the line, he says, so what do you all think? I'm like, think about what? We just laid out your problem. And they all look at each other. Now, all of them work in the same company. You got a boss there, there's politics. They all look around and go, yeah, well, I think it sounds good. And I said, well, what do you mean you think it sounds good? The real question here is, do you want to solve your problem or not? That's costing you $80,000 a month in lost conversion, in your salesperson's time, and your need to spend more money on leads. Do you want to solve this problem or not? I said this with a smile on my face, because I don't want to, and then they said, well, this is amazing to me. They said, well, why don't we discuss it and we'll let you know? I'm like, discuss what? So what I'm trying to say is, this is more common than not, more often than not, because the leaders in these companies are afraid to add innovation and to show a path to their people, because they want to preserve their culture of everyone sharing their ideas. That's, which is great, but somebody has to lead the way and make the decision whether people want to do it or not. And that was astounds me. So anyways, back to your scenario. What kind of relationship do you have with her? Do you guys get along, or is she a bit detached, or do you feel like you have something personal with her?
We get along, Ari. There's no question. I think now it's gotten to the point where now she's pre-screening my calls. And so
why should she do that?
Well, the reason being is because she wanted to do one final thing, get 2 or 3 stakeholders involved to do some testing, and she was supposed to provide us some deliverables for that, and she did not come across it. I was using REAI to communicate in that, and now she's blocked me. So
hold on. This is like a whole different issue now, Derek. If she's blocking you, that tells me she doesn't trust you.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to help unpack this, because there's one thing you're saying about what she's not doing. Now, the fact she's not even open to talking to you about this tells me something else was broken earlier on between you and her, somewhere in your process, where she's now blocking you, not talking to you, because she must be feeling from you that you're maybe attempting to move this thing forward, and maybe she feels some pressure, and that's why she's blocked you out. I don't know. I'm thinking out loud here. What do you think?
Probably. Well, that's why I've backed off on this, Ari. But she's done this before, and then she's come back. So this is nothing new. She's gets overwhelmed, and then she circles back. So I recognize this pattern. So I'm not taking it personally. But
sure, no, I wouldn't take it personal. But sounds like whatever has happened prior to today has caused her to put her guard up with you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because the thing is, Ari, is when it's happened in the past, and she said, "I'm going to get to this and this," she doesn't. You know,
I get it. She's stalling and procrastinating, and you're probably your frustration is being conveyed somewhere to her in your follow-up process to her out of exasperation, saying, "Come on." So now she's like, "Okay, I got to back off." So it's like this sort of accordion kind of this dysfunctional relationship between you and her. Don't ever go out with her. It's not going to go very well.
No,
but
no.
I'm just joking. But I think the first thing here, Derek, is we have to recognize what it is in the right sequence. Okay. I think the first step has to happen here is we have to diffuse the tension between you and her.
Right.
That doesn't happen. Nothing is going to happen anyways. So have you attempted the apology approach yet with her?
I haven't, Ari. I mean, the fall on the sword. I think when to use that, because I also think in the past you had some beautiful languaging, and I don't remember to really call out the elephant in the room when somebody stalls and feels like we're at an end. So I'm trying to figure out the order of things. I mean, to me, if she had disappeared for 2-3 months, I would use the fall on the sword approach. No problem.
No, but she's ignoring your calls now.
Yeah. So maybe
it's not that. It's time to pull out the fall on your sword approach. Here's what you need to do, Derek. You got to leave her a message or drop her an email around the message of, hi, first name. I hope you're well. I haven't heard back from you. I've left you a message or two, and I just want to apologize. It's possible that somewhere in our conversations recently, I may have not fully given you what you needed or not answered your questions, or maybe you feel some pressure in some way from me, and I want to apologize for that, because I only want to help, and I don't want to in any way make you feel uncomfortable with the whole process. If you can provide me any feedback to help me kind of be better at this would be great. I just wanted to make it good between you and I, to make sure we're comfortable together to have a chat or something around that concept. You just need to fall on your sword somewhere here, because you got to break the tension. You got to somehow bring the guard down. Otherwise, you can't even get past first base. It's you and her now. It's not the other problem right now. The first problem is you and her. The second problem is her and the team. Now, let's just say you do this, Derek, and you get a breakthrough, and she talks to you. Oh, thank you. I could talk to her.
Yeah. Okay.
Then if you melt the ice on the first level, then the next level would say, let's say her name is Julie. Julie, I've been thinking more about your situation, and I've been thinking more about how you're having your team decide what they want to do, and I know they expressed they want to do something. Would you be open to making a recommendation to them that we initiate at least this first phase in the process and have you lead that process, because maybe they need that direction to be able to finally make their decision? Can we come up with something around that, a strategy around that, where you take the first step on this? Would that even be possible at all? I would just present that to her as a kind of message saying, I need you. You need to do something to lead the way. Otherwise, no one's going to go anywhere here. And you're kind of stuck between two places, the problem and the solution. And I'm trying to get you out of the middle of that.
Right.
Or maybe you have other ideas. What do you recommend, Julie? See how I'm saying it? It's like we're a team on this together.
Mm-hmm.
We have a stalemate. It's frozen. Right? Go ahead.
I agree, Ari, and I think it's got to shift that way, rather than, because here's two things that I think are going to happen. Number one is she might be open to it, and I haven't taken that approach. Or second, she goes back to the team thing, and we have to shift away from that because.
Correct. Yeah.
So if she happens to go, well, I don't know, I got to check with the team, and some way, Ari, I have to keep moving the needle the other way, and
Yes.
and I'm trying to think, how can I do that without kind of irritating her or upsetting her?
I understand.
Yeah.
Only way you can do that is to ask her what she think is the best process to move out of the stalemate and to provide her other offices the path to move something forward, at least to a first step. Because it sounds like they on their own won't do without her stamp of approval. Is that right?
It's not without. It's I think she's just afraid to take the responsibility. So
why is she afraid? What's she afraid might happen?
She's afraid that she chooses a solution, and then there could be one group of people that go, you know what, I don't like the solution or whatever that we went with.
But aren't they already bought in on it? You said they were already gung-ho about the solving it, weren't they? The solution, or not?
They're not. They're not.
Oh,
so
I thought you said they were saying the problem they recognize is they want to work on solving.
Well, they recognize the problem they want to solve, absolutely, and so it's between us and another vendor, and literally it's like, let's just choose one. That's what it's gotten to the point. Let's just choose something.
Where you use both the same.
There's some nuances, some differences, but at the end of the day, I mean, it's just they need to solve these issues. That's the problem, though.
Have you been in contact at all with those other offices, the key people over there, or only her?
Sorry, the other offices.
Have you been in contact with the other key people besides her? The
absolutely. I've gone on site. I've talked to all the other stakeholders. Absolutely.
Why don't you ask them for their advice? Why don't you ask them, John, what would you recommend we do at this point? It sounds like nothing's happening. What are your thoughts? Because I think, Derek, you're out of answers only because you're on the outside, not the inside. The inside has the answers. Honestly, if it was me, I'd be talking to each of those people around her and asking them for their feedback and their advice, how they suggest we proceed. That's the bottom line. Because they're motivated. It sounds like they're motivated. They want to work on the problem, right?
Yeah, they want to work on the problem. Yeah, but we have a double-edged sword here, where we have a leader can't make a decision. They want to choose a solution, So
start with them, not her.
Okay.
Ask them what they recommend as the best process to make this happen. Because you can say, I'm out of ideas. What do you guys recommend? That's what I would do. Fall on your sword with them.
Okay.
See what they say. I bet you they'll think of an idea you haven't thought of yet. You never know.
I'll see.
All right, Derek. Good to see you again.
Yeah, you too. Thanks.
All right, take care. All right, we're back at the Stump the Guru show. As you can see, we often have very thorny, kind of challenging, complex issues that can come up. And you can see all the layers that were in that situation. And when you're in the middle of these challenges, it's hard to see the layers. And so part of our work that we do here, and we teach our clients to do as well, is to really see a 360 view of the scenario and break it down, look at all the situations and find out where the open doors are to get to the truth, not the sale, the truth of what's really going on. And oftentimes people on the inside will have the path and the answer to help you solve their problem, as long as they trust you to be vulnerable with you and tell you what's really happening. And because they would know the nuances in this scenario of how to proceed, as opposed to an outsider versus an insider. So these are the kind of thorny issues that we work with a lot in our processes. And I can tell you in general, what you're seeing here is a classic example of how selling in itself has become so dysfunctional and so complex, very difficult to untangle if you're thinking from a sales perspective versus trust perspective. So we got a few minutes left over. Anyone else left over there, Steve?
Yeah, I'll bring Sam on. So Sam, we've got some
Great.
others, but their cameras aren't on. So let me just
Sure.
apologize to Sam. Sam, we were talking in Slack last week. I'm sorry. Australia got just throttled. I don't know what to tell you, man. You know, New York is humming right now. USA is going nuts with the Knicks, and it carried over to soccer, the sport I have no clue about. But yeah, man, I'm gonna leave you two at it.
I thought my tumbleweeds cricket message would have been enough, but to apologise. But anyway, yeah, no, it was a good game for you guys.
Sam, what are your thoughts on today's conversations?
Yeah, look, excellent, Ari. I mean, one of the things, going back to what you talked about the doctor-patient sort of relationship, one of the things I'm hearing a lot from clients, and it's a behaviour that they're doing, and I'd like to get your perspective on it, and it's probably something you've come across, but people feel like they've got to go into the conversation. They have to do this framing, right? They've got to frame the conversation. They say, look, okay, so look, let me tell you what's going to happen here. You're going to talk a little bit about you. I'm going to talk about me. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the process. And then if we're a fit, exactly what you said before, but actually start with this whole concept of framing the conversation, right? What are your thoughts around that? Are you seeing that as well?
Yeah, you know, the more I think about it, when I start with new clients, I ask them how do they start their meetings? And most of them start framing with the prospect to try and control everything. This comes from some old sales training programs that are out in the market now who teach this whole idea of overlaying a structure on top of the conversation in advance to squeeze out the answer at the end. And just as I described it to you, that's pressure oriented on the other person that doesn't know you. And so, as you know, we teach not to do any of that because your goal is trust building, not getting a yes at the end, but getting to the truth of whether their problem deserves a solution or not. And that's a different trajectory, which changes the approach.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, you know, what you said was perfect. I mean, it creates pressure, even if it's subtle. I mean, you go into a conversation, you don't really know what's happening other than the fact that you know what the person does, you know what they do, and you're going into it quite genuinely open. And all of a sudden, the first thing that comes out of their mouth is, right, this is the framework of how we're going to have this conversation. We're going to go through this, that, and the other thing, and then we're going to have an outcome. I mean, to me, that's like, oh, geez, okay, now I'm on the box seat here. I've got to comply to this framework. I'm stressed.
Well, it's like the doctor doesn't say, look, here's the plan for today. All right,
Yeah.
we're going to do this. No, they say to you, where does it hurt? And then it's a natural way you engage with an authority. It's the way you begin to feel comfortable opening up to people. By adding that frame and the whole fit concept, what it does is it compresses the space of trust to allow the other person to be vulnerable with you, to open up to you. And I think that's the lesson here as we come to a conclusion, is that the goal is not to sell to somebody. The goal is to create enough space with them where they feel comfortable telling you the truth and they trust you to a deep level, where they themselves drive things forward. And of course, you're teaching the Trust Academy coming up. And I'm encouraging everyone listening today to go to the arigalper.com/academy and read that page carefully and watch the video and understand the philosophy and the approach that we believe has been working for so many years and so important. And of course, you walk the talk and you'll be teaching that program, and I'll be a guest you'll be bringing every once in a while. But I think hopefully from today, people have picked up that our way of thinking is different than other ways of thinking, and it's not for everyone, but those who resonate will be a good fit. So any last thoughts for you on maybe the Trust Academy program as well?
Yeah, look, I mean, look, the fact is that there's been a lot of conditioned thinking and a lot of people doing things the old way. And look, it's not working. Times have changed. It's a commoditized environment. There's plenty of people that do what you do. And if you're happy with sort of living in that world and losing a lot of qualified opportunities, because the main reason is that, you know, trust is the broken piece. It's a trust recession. And if you want to move out of that, then there is a path forward. And you know what? it's more natural, it's more authentic, it's just more of a pleasure. And once you know, you look back and you think that old way just didn't work, and the new way is it's just a new learning skill, a new muscle. And if you can embrace that, it really becomes a game changer. It's as simple as that.
Look, in the day and age of AI, only way you win this game is by you mastering the art of human to human trust building. That's the last gap left to preserve your business and success over time. So on that note, Sam, thanks for being here. Again, if you have not gone to the Academy page yet, go to arigalper.com/Academy immediately. We only have 25 spots. That will be closing very soon when we start in July. And I'd encourage you to be open to challenging your own thinking and deep diving into a trust-based approach to help you succeed with what's happening in the world these days. So on that note, thanks for coming today, and we'll see you all next time.
See you, Ari.
I've come up with a way to totally eradicate this whole idea of rejection in sales. If it's over at hello, how the heck are you going to succeed in selling? You've got to rise above that and change your mindset.